Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you guys. I am running late because Facebook is acting crazy. It won't let me put in a title for this live broadcast. So thanks to all those that jumped onto Periscope, those that are jumping on Facebook. It won't let me type the title of what I'm going to teach today. So I was going back and forth with it. Matter of fact, it's typing backwards. So as I'm trying to type on the Facebook platform, the letters are just going backwards. So the best thing that I could do was just, post a link, which it looks like the link probably won't work because there was a little letter N that would not delete on the Facebook platform. So that's what took me forever to get on. But that's one thing to learn if you're going to do business in this day and age, which is mastering technology. And not only mastering technology, but understanding that sometimes technology just goes haywire. And so it's just one of those things. So someone says they can't see me. If you're on Periscope and you can see me, give me a thumbs up, please. Facebook, good to see you guys. We are going to be talking about the 5 things that you need to know in order to, not need to know, but the 5 things that every entrepreneur should know if they're going to go forward. So Periscope, let me make sure that you guys are hearing me and seeing me. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me, and we are going to get started. So the other day, I put up a post on Instagram and in Facebook asking what were some of the things that people wish they knew before they started their business or ministry, and what are some of the things that they had learned. So I'm going to kind of cover some of those questions. All right, it looks like Periscope is also acting crazy, so give me a second, Facebook. Let me relog back into Periscope, and then hopefully it's going to be an easy breezy morning. I'm not sure if it's because it's Thanksgiving weekend or what. But let me try again on there. Make sure that they can see me, and then we'll go again. So get your questions ready. So I'm basically gonna kind of cover 5 points, and then it's going to be like a Q&A. So if you are emerging in business, you've been in it for a long time, there should be a lot of things that I can help you with. So let me get them settled, and hopefully it will work. 5 things everybody should know, part 2 for Periscope. All right, so let's get them on. All right. Hopefully we're good. So I put that out. So what I'm going to do, obviously you guys know that we have our Wealth Transfer Academy coming up, which focuses on business. So the majority of the questions that people asked, I was like, we're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover that. But what I'm going to do is just kind of give you guys a tad bit. I'm not going to give you everything. Obviously that is an 8-week course, an hour and a half every week. But I'm going to give you guys as much as I can in 30 minutes, and then take some of your questions and answer them. So my goal is to help supply you with the information that you need. Before we go into that, I took those questions that people asked in the post that I did this week, and we put it in a PDF. And so it is going to be a bonus. On Friday, we have some exciting news for all those that register for our Wealth Transfer Academy during this Black Friday sale. We have a huge sale going on at AskDrFaith.com with all of our courses being 50% off, but you're going to be able to get the PDF bonus of some of the stuff that I'm teaching today. But let's get started, because I know what it's like to jump onto a call and you are ready to get information and you are waiting for me to start talking. So one of the main things that people kept asking me about was, and I'm going to start from the bottom up. I'm not going to go based on the questions. I'm going to give you guys just some simple steps going from before you even launch to after you have launched, and what that should look like. So that's how I'm going to do this. And that's kind of how our course is structured for 8 weeks. But things like LLC versus sole proprietorship versus do I even need to get my business or my organization incorporated? I would encourage everybody to at least get your state incorporation papers, because without those, you cannot get your EIN number. And without an EIN number, you cannot get a bank account. And if you plan to make some bank or make some money, you need a bank account, which leads to do not mix your business money with your personal money. You need to make sure that when you are getting ready to launch your business, that you have a clear account that is specifically dedicated to your business. So everybody will need to get incorporated in your state. Each state has different policies and procedures in doing that. It is your responsibility to Google it. It does not take that long. All you say is, what do I need to do to get incorporated in my state? So the next phase after you've gotten incorporated, you've got the EIN number, you've got the bank number, then you want to, when you do the incorporations, you can make a decision. Do I want to be an LLC, which is limited liability corporation? Do I want to be a sole proprietor, meaning everything is kind of on me if anything goes wrong? If I'm an LLC, my business is separate from me. They're not going to come after my house. They're not going to come after my car. The liability goes to the company. You can make that decision. When I first started, and I am the product. So the products that I create come out of me. Some of you guys have t-shirts. Some of you guys have, big, different types of corporations that are beyond just small level productions. You will definitely need to do the research to figure out what that looks like for your product. During Wealth Transfer Academy, we're going to have some people that come in that kind of give us clarity around that. But I started out as a sole proprietor, and when you're a sole proprietor, when it's time to do your taxes, they tax you using your Social Security number. As the business began to grow, I moved on to an LLC, and then once we hit over six figures annually, we moved on to an S Corp. What an S Corp does is it allows me to get a salary from my company or from our company, and that is mainly what is taxed, or it's taxed differently than what is taxed on the organization. But I wouldn't necessarily say jump ahead and go ahead and do that before you have started. So most people start as an LLC, and then they begin to build from there. So once you have that name, the next thing you want to do is branding. So branding, I don't have time to go into all of that, but you want to think about colors. You can look back on a post that I did when I was switching over our logo, and just some of the reasons why I went towards the logo that I chose, based on, even though a lot of people liked a different other logo. Branding is not just about what you feel right now. Branding is about where you're going. Colors have to do with your industry, have to do with a little bit of your personality, but there are certain colors that work well. So for example, when you look at Target and Coca-Cola and Chick-fil-A, they all have red in there. The red has a certain implication. I'm in the health, spirituality industry. Greens, mint colors, soft colors are important. So those are things that you want to be considering when you're creating a logo or you're creating a brand. You don't want to just be like, oh, that's my favorite color, I'm going to go ahead and make it my logo for my business. Even when you're doing ministry, you want to be mindful the colors that you're using for your ministry brand, because all the colors communicate. There's a whole field, we call it the psychology of color, or the psychology of branding, which color is one of those things, because color invokes emotion. So that's just one thing. And then you have things like placement. Then you want to decide, do I want to have a letter logo versus a symbol logo, and all of that stuff. And so these are things that you want to think through. But I promise you, when I started my business, I researched and I read, and you guys hear me say this all the time, whether it's about business, whether it's about dreams, whether it's about ministry, like do the work. There's a lot of free content out there. So if you're like, Dr. Faith, I can't afford your Wealth Transfer Academy, do the work, do the free studying and figure that out. But you want to get a logo, no matter what you're doing. no matter what kind of industry you're in. I don't care if you sell, salt to snails. Like, you want to get a logo, you want to make sure that you have a great website even before you have a social platform. So a lot of people want to go live on Facebook and Instagram. They want to, start sharing their products, but they don't have a website to drive their clients to. We don't do stuff in business just to do stuff. Like, if you're going to be going live, it better be directing them to something else. If you're going to be showcasing a product or something, or even a quote, or even your blog, it better be directing them to your website. And the reason for that is, one, you want to increase traffic to your website, because it's going to help push up in your Google searches, or when people search for your website on Google. And secondly, you need to get them on your list. You need to get them on your email list. It doesn't matter if you sell hair from alpacas, okay? You need to have an email list. There is no website you're going to go on that is in any type of commercial industry, selling industry, that does not have an email list. That is more important than your social media followers. And so the goal, when you're first starting your business, when you're first starting your ministry, even your ministry, is to build your email list, because those are your people. These are your customers. And so if you're doing anything on social media, it should ultimately be leading them back to your website, where they get on a list. And there are other ways to do lists. You can embed lists onto into your Facebook posts. You can embed them into your Instagram posts, even though linking is really difficult in Instagram, but you can send them to your bio. But you need to focus on building your list. You need to focus on building your customers. So the Wealth Transfer Academy, we have broadened it from our e-course class that we had last year. I taught 25 people last year on how to create 5 to 6 figure courses. And we broadened it. But the first thing that you have to do before you say, I'm going to sell something, is have people that you're going to sell that to. And so with building a list, there are what we call lead magnets. And I'm just giving you guys little snippets, kind of like a summary, a journey from start to finish of what you need to be doing. And some of you guys already have done this stuff. You've established, maybe you're at retention phase, or you're at the growth phase, but you want to get a list. And lists grow through what we call lead magnets. Lead magnets are free gifts that you give in order for your list to grow. So for example, when I first started, I had my free purpose book, which is still very, very cheap. It's $2.99. It's an ebook on my site that I would give away for free. And so what I would do is I would share little posts around the purpose book and say, if you want more, go to our website and subscribe, and you will get the whole book for free. You got to do that for like 90 days. This is not like, oh, I'm going to give away something for a week. A lot of people do not succeed, whether it's ministry or business, because they lack consistency. That's the biggest thing. I've been at this thing since 2009. That's when I started doing teleseminars. We launched our business officially in 2012. And now, I can say we've made over, $500,000 or $1 million, because it's been 6 or 7 years of consistency. So when you have your lead magnets could be like what I'm giving away to as a bonus. And maybe someday we'll give it away as a lead magnet. 10 things that you need to know when you're launching a business. It could be, what else have I done as lead magnets? I have a lead magnet coming up in January. So we're actually going to do a book study on my newest book, which is called Healing Your Past. And it's going to be on our YouTube, because I'm starting to get ready to go live on YouTube. So all the YouTube watchers, I will be going live starting in January on YouTube, and in our mentoring and training group on Facebook. But that is a lead magnet, because you cannot join the group unless you have subscribed. And so they get the free Bible study. So I'm giving you great content and for free in exchange for your email. So you've got to build your email list. And it's not just when you start your business. You've got to put email list building within your business plan, probably every 3 to 4 months. You got to have a way of building it. There are a lot of other ways. There's collaborations. There is free webinars. You could do a free webinar. Last year in January, I did 4 free webinars every Thursday night, because that was part of building my list. I wanted to engage people who had never heard of me, who didn't know I existed. And so you've got to come up with a strategy in order to do that. Once you have built your list, you're sending them to your website, you're growing your email list. Then you want to start thinking about, okay, when do I sell what I'm going to sell? Some of us come out and we're like, okay, we're selling this, we're selling that. And this is one of my pet peeves. It's one of the reasons why I did even the Wealth Transfer Academy. Because people, and I'm sorry for all you writers, but writing books is a big phenomenon now. People write books and they have no marketing plan, they have no audience, and you spend thousands of dollars getting it published and you sell like $500 worth. And so we want to give you strategies, we want to give you plans on how do you do that from step A to, from A to Z. So once you have started and you have clear audience, people ask a lot of questions like, how do I build my audience? And I've given you guys some of those tips. You cannot begin to charge for something when nobody knows the value that you bring. This is why the Chinese restaurant in the food court will say, you want to try a sample? You want to try a sample? Because they will know that if you sample their food, you may decide that you want to buy it. If you're not an established brand yet, you can't just be like, I'm selling my courses for $500 and nobody knows how effective they are. That is why I go live to share with you guys how effective whatever course I have coming up is going to be, by giving you some of the content in it so you know what you're getting into. All right. So business cannot be done just, like laying on your back. I had a mama in our DTA, our Destiny Training Academy. She had built $1 million business, in-home business, but because she didn't have the tools, she didn't have the strategies, she lost the whole company. So this thing has to be really intentional. And we'll talk about scalability in a little bit. So once you do that, building your audience is an ongoing thing. It depends on your product. Not everybody needs to go live, but everybody needs to showcase their stuff. And another question people asked me a lot about was, which social media platform do I use? I'll give you guys little hints. If you're in the industry of selling hair bundles, if you're in the industry of selling earrings, if you're in the industry of selling shoes, you want to use places that actually do well with pictures. So things like Instagram, things like Pinterest, those are going to do really, really well with that. If you're in a professional business of working with, tax companies, if you're someone who's a Fortune 500 company worker and you're developing your own business, things like LinkedIn would work really, really good for you, or Twitter will work really good for you. Facebook is always going to be at the top of every social media platform because they have the most subscribers worldwide. I was looking at this information yesterday. I think it's like 2.5 million people. No, it's not even million, it's like billion people are on Facebook. But there are ways that you leverage Facebook. It's not just about posting. So if you're going to launch a business, then you want to make sure that you create a specific page for your business, because as one of our copywriter yesterday was telling us in our staff meeting, like if you sell products on your personal page on Facebook, they can shut your Facebook page down. So your products need to be sold on your business page on Facebook. So you want to make sure that you have created a page specifically for whatever your business is, and you could create it across multiple platforms. I don't leverage Twitter like that. I go on Periscope because my audience is not necessarily there. What works well best for me is Instagram and is Facebook. So you want to figure that out. So you're going to be doing that, as well as product development. Product development is going to depend on what's going on, but one of the things that I want to, what's going on, is going to depend on your audience. But one of the things that I want to give you guys is that you create products based on a need. So some people were asking, like, how do I retain my audience? Well, you keep asking them what they need, and you create products that they need. If you work with women and you were creating, let's say, gloves for women, and they're like, these would be really cute for my children, then after you have scaled your gloves to the max, meaning that you have infiltrated that industry, you're doing well, you have a decent income coming in with that, then you can begin to say, okay, what do we do now to begin to create gloves for, little children. I have somebody who sells coffee from a different country, and somebody had asked them if they if the coffee is available in Keurigs. And so they were like, no, but we were talking about it, and we're like, maybe, that's something that we could do. But because they've just started selling the coffee, there is no reason in taking money in a business that just started and trying to work with companies that can now put it in a Keurig cup when you haven't even crossed the 6-figure mark with what you've started. And this is the other thing. A lot of people, we like to build upon stuff when we haven't maximized the previous season. Well, we get an idea and we're like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. But you have to learn how to build upon that. So the other thing about choosing what business to go into, you want to ask yourself, is this scalable? Is it scalable? Meaning, is there, can this keep on growing and growing and growing? And even if I removed myself from it, can it grow without me after a certain point? So you want to think of a way to scale your business. And scaling doesn't mean more work. It means getting more money for your from your business, the work that you're doing. So whatever you're doing, like if you design shirts, how scalable is that? The only way that that's going to become scalable is if you expand your brand, then you design other things and you add on to that. If you are a life coach and you coach people one-on-one, how scalable is that? The only way it's going to be scalable is if you start doing courses, or you start doing consultations, or you start doing some kind of trainings, right, where you can grow beyond your one-on-one. I can quickly share how we scaled our business, and then I'm going to take some questions from you. So I started out with one-on-one counseling or coaching, and then we added courses. And then after doing courses and one-on-one for forever, I was like, I don't want to do one-on-ones anymore. I want to focus on courses. We did courses for a while, and I was like, you know what? I want to take some of these courses and put them in a one deal package that will allow me to scale the business. That's where DTA came from, our Destiny Training Academy. What it essentially did was took all the steps that we take people through in our coaching, in our inner healing stuff, in our marriage stuff, in some of our business development stuff, and some of our ministry stuff, and we put it in a month-to-month package where people can access that. That's called a subscription or a membership site on an ongoing basis. And that allows me to be able to train and equip 800 people at once than just one-on-one, or just 100 that have signed up for a course, or 150 that have signed up for a course. So we've scaled it that way, and we're scaling it even more. And so you want to start thinking about, where is my business going and how do I scale it? The reason I'm doing all this, because everybody, not everybody, people know me as a prophet. Some people know me as a psychologist. Some people know me as a businesswoman, right? But the kingdom of God, and I shared this last time before I start taking your questions, is that we're in a season where there's a grace to create wealth. And this is not just for Americans. This is internationally. The Lord is developing and downloading ideas, but it's your job to cultivate your idea. It's your job to take it to the next level. And if you don't deal with your worries and your thoughts about money, no matter how much money you make, you're never going to have enough. And so part of what we do in Wealth Transfer Academy, the first 2 weeks are dealing with mindsets and how you think about money, breaking the poverty spirit. Then we go into stuff and how you grow and market and finance and law, the legal stuff and all of that of your business. But let me take some of your questions. I know I covered more than 5 things that you need to know if you're launching out as an entrepreneur. But like I said, this is just an intro to our Wealth Transfer Academy. And I will give you guys a hint. We have a special coming up just on Friday. So if you're like, I want to register for this on Friday, if you're on our email list, you will get that special. So make sure that you go to AskDrFaith.com and subscribe specifically for the Wealth Transfer Academy. If you have already registered or are on a payment plan for it, don't worry, the special will apply to you too as well. All right. So let's take some questions around business development, even if it's around ministry development. I would love to answer some of the questions for you guys and help you grow and keep growing. I have done some lives already on how to break the poverty mindset. Sorry, I have lipstick all over me. You can go to my YouTube and you can find that teaching, but we're going to go deep into it in regards to being a business owner, in regards to creating wealth, because that is really, really important. All right. Questions. Let me take some of your questions here. All right, let's see. Somebody wanted me. Okay, they canceled it. I'm trying to think on the list what specifically. Okay, can it grow with me? That's the wisdom. Can it grow with me? Yeah, because you don't want to just start businesses, start here, start there, and it's not scalable. It's not gonna grow. You're gonna get discouraged, and you're gonna get tired, because we're all wired to be able to grow and keep going. And so when you become stagnant, you get frustrated. What percentage should be for business and personal? I am assuming you are asking about your income. If you are just starting a business, and okay, let me answer this question, because people will say, they were saying they don't know how to manage their corporate job or their regular job and their business. You need to, if you work a 9 to 5, when you come home, you need to dedicate at least 3 hours a night to your business. If you don't have the nights because you have kids, you have wives, husbands, whatever, Saturday morning, 4 or 5 hours need to be dedicated to your business. It is possible, but I don't advise people to quit their job and start a business if they haven't started making enough on their business to quit their job. So for me, and one of the things that I'll say is, if you make $5,000 a month on your job, then your business needs to be bringing in $5,000 a month before you quit your job. You could do 2-5 depending on how your family lives, like 50%, but it is not wise, especially when you have children or spouses and all of that. If you're single, you could just take a leap. Now, when I started, I just took a leap, and I was like, we are gonna swim. We're not gonna sink. But part of it is I already had somewhat of an audience. I had been building an audience for quite a while. I knew what to do. And so for me, the first month was, let's just make enough for us to live on, for me to contribute. My husband was in grad school at that point. But I was like, by 3 months from now, I need to double this. By 6 months from now, I need to triple it. So you need to have clarity. So when a person is asking what percentage should be for my business and my personal, I don't know. It depends. If you're working another job, right? And then I would say for the first 3 to 6 months, save all your money for your business, if you don't need it for your house, right? But if you are, this is your livelihood, then I would say 30 to 40% should be for your business, and then you live on the 60% for your personal, well-being. But it depends on your business. It depends on what's coming out of your business and other factors, like, do you have a family or children? But you definitely should be saving at least, 30%. Well, if nothing else, you need to be saving 25% for your taxes, because they're going to come, and you need to make sure that you have put aside that money from your business to pay your taxes, because if not, it's going to go into your personal money anyway. So if you know you're saving 25% of your income for your taxes every month, then maybe 10% can go towards your business, and the other percent you can live on. But if you have a business where you constantly have to order stuff, you may have to up that. So it just depends. And I was hoping my husband could do this live with me, because this is his stuff. He's going to help teach some of the Wealth Transfer Academy, but he is with the kids right now. So, but it depends on what's happening with your business. All right. How do you balance all the responsibilities of pastor, wife, ministries, and speaking engagements? Let's see. This is a personality thing. I am extremely organized in regards to my time, and I am a timekeeper. That is one of my strengths. And so the way that I organize my life is in chunks, and chunking is one of the best ways to manage time anyway. I can do it in a way that I say, like, on Tuesdays, I work on my business, or on mornings, I work on the business, and afternoons, I work on church administrative stuff. And then evenings, I work on whatever. But I have a very organized life. So from, like, right now, this morning, I worked on business stuff. I'm going live. After that, I'm done, right? I'm going to be with my kids. I'm going to be with my family. On a normal day, from 9 to 3, I work on my business. 3 hours of that may be on the church stuff. The other hours are with my family. You can chunk it by day. You can chunk it by hours. It just depends on how you're wired. When I first started a business, a lot of the income came from traveling. So I traveled at least 2-3 times a month. And so that was a busier time of my life, but that's what we agreed upon that was feasible. Now I don't travel as much, just because I want to develop some other stuff more, and I want to be at home more. And so it depends on the season that you're in and your priorities, but you got to figure out how to chunk your time. I always prioritize my children and my family, but what I do with them is that we have prolonged times together. So we're going to London and Europe for several days in December, and that's just going to be after we do the conference in London, the 20th and 21st. The rest of the time is for my family. And my kids are good, and they understand that. So you just got to figure out what works best for your family. All right. You are a blessing to the kingdom. How do you feel about hiring family members? So my sister has been working with us. For those of you guys who came to Pioneer Girls and are part of DTA, you got to meet her, and she was actually working in her industry with our company. She does marketing and email lists and all of that stuff for big Fortune 500 companies, and she wasn't working for several months, so we hired her. She's very mature. She's very professional. She has worked in corporate for a long, long time, and so we had a contract. I don't care if you're family or not. We're going to have a contract. We're going to have an understanding of hours. We're going to have an understanding of expectations so that there is no funny business. When we're working, we're working. When we're family, we're family. So I don't have an issue with hiring family because I would love to hire my whole family at some point, but they're going to have contracts and they're going to understand the hours that they're supposed to work and they're going to understand their contribution. The problem is family sometimes thinks that they don't apply to the same rules that everybody else should, and they do. And we're that strict even at our church. We have family members that come to our church, but they don't get any special anything because they're our family members. And so we are very strict about that. So I don't have a problem with it if they know what they're doing, they're mature, and you have laid out things clearly on what to do. When you started on Facebook, did you post your videos? So on Facebook, when I started, I was going to share this. I'll probably share it today. I started back in 2012. I would post my videos on YouTube because Facebook Live and all of that started in 2014, 2015. And so I would go live, I would record myself, post my videos on YouTube, and then I would share them on my other platforms. So yes, that's how that started. No, I did not boost my videos. I've never boosted my videos, but what I will boost or what I will pay for are Facebook ads. That Facebook ads, when I'm selling an event or I'm selling a ticket, you'll see our Black Friday sales things going on. You're gonna see us sharing those in a couple of hours, and so that allows you to be introduced to audiences that may necessarily not be connected to you. Sometimes I think once or twice I've done a video that people really responded to and they really, really loved, and we were like, you know what, other people would benefit from this, let's share it. But generally I won't boost videos, but we will use Facebook ads for products that we are selling. Will you go through how to build courses in Wealth Transfer Academy? Yes, the Wealth Transfer Academy is how to build your business, whether it's you sell courses, whether you sell books, whether you do events, whether you sell t-shirts. We're going to cover all of that within the academy. And advice on starting a clinic to provide healthcare for children. I mean, you want to look at funding. You want to look at grants. You want to, especially because you're working with children. You are in London, I believe. So you want to look at what that looks like in where you live, what the steps are. You may want to go down to the city and find out from like the Better Business Bureau what those steps are. If you are working in a clinic, that is a whole hospital. I don't know if I would just start out with starting a clinic. I would probably start more in a private practice setting and see kids one-on-one or see kids based on like a family and then scale up from there. I think it's always wiser to start smaller and then build up instead of saying, okay, I'm going to start a whole clinic, and then you get frustrated in the process of that. What can you do before the clinic? All right. I would like to take the class, but I'm still at work during the class. Will it be recorded? All our courses are recorded. All our recordings are sent to you within 24 to 48 hours after every single class, and you get to keep them forever. Is the process the same for service-oriented business providing? Yeah, same. Mentorship coaching, because that's what I do. I do coaching, I do consulting, I do training. It's the same. All right, because you have a product, whether you're the product or you've developed products, you have a product, whether it's a course, whether it is a service that you're giving to children. Those are all products. Even ministry is a product. The things that people give, whether it's at a conference or at an event, that is a product. And so you got to figure out, how do I get this product to the people that need it most, and how do I consistently present a product that is super helpful? All right, any other questions? I'll take like 2-3 more questions. So we have a 50% off sale going on at Ask Dr. Faith. You will find courses like how to launch an online course. It's like 1 hour. It's not like a full course, but it's 50% off. One of the bonuses we're giving away this Friday for those that sign up for the World Transfer Academy is how to build your audience. It's a whole bonus 1 hour teaching on how do you build your audience just around that. So you can go on there. The dream courses are on sale, the marriage courses, discernment course, authenticity course, they're all there. Do you think the market is saturated with coaches? So this is what I say. A market can be saturated, but if you have a difference, if you have a uniqueness, if there is something of value that you contribute, your people are going to find you. But if you don't have anything that you bring to the table that is different or that is exceptional or that is unique, it is going to be hard to be found. You're not going to be able to really build the clientele. But what you want to focus on is your unique story, your unique brand, what you bring to the table that other coaches don't bring, that other, mentors don't bring, that other whatever don't bring. Mentoring, essentially, you're not supposed to charge for. Mentoring is a free thing. But anyway, that's something that we learn in our coaching and mentoring certification program. But if you have a difference, if you have a uniqueness, you can survive. But you want to make sure that if you need to get extra education, extra experience, and an extra certificate to make you more marketable, you do that. Any entrepreneurship is just like even regular careers where you have to be marketable. Your resume needs to be able to be, people need to be able to look at it and say, okay, they have credibility and I want to learn or I want to ascribe to what they have to give. How do you overcome not being able to articulate your business vision or process of execution? You need to sign up for a coach. You need to sign up for some classes around identity. I'm actually getting ready to work with someone around working with her branding clients. She was asking, we haven't nailed down any of the details yet, but she does branding. And one of the things she was saying is one of the issues my branding clients have is they don't know who they are. And if they don't know who they are, their brand consistently shifting. And so when a person is not able to articulate their brand or their vision or their business, it's probably some internal things that are going on that need to be worked on in order for you to have clarity about who you are, what you carry. When will you be offering your certified coaching class? It is in February. So for those that want to become certified coaches, certified mentors, the registration opens in February. The class starts in May. All right. Any other questions before I go? Any advice on running a group home for individual with special needs? You want to hire really good people. You want to hire people that love working with special needs. You want to make sure that the home, you build community in the home. You want to make sure that it is family oriented. You can make a lot of money owning group homes, but you want to make sure that it is a place that you're taking really, really good care, because the more you do a good job of taking care of your clients and your customers, the more customers you'll have, and the more you'll be able to build other businesses out of it or own more homes. And that's the biggest thing. I've worked in group homes when I was young, early, undergrad psychology student. That's what the type of jobs you got. And some of the things that I saw was a lack of caring for your staff and a lack of caring for the people. So you want to make sure that you put that customer service is really, really important. And so that's something that you want to learn. Is funding feasible for coaching business for impoverished communities? Is funding feasible? I'm not sure what you're asking. It would depend on your audience, right? So are you asking, can I get funding to help run my business? There's a lot of funding opportunities for different businesses, even in countries that are growing or countries that are developing. You would just have to do the research to find what that looks like. question, Dr. Faith, can you provide the Stripe payment for your site, AskDrFaith.com? We don't have one on AskDrFaith.com. I will see if our team can add one, but generally we have, everybody has gone through Ask Dr. On Ask Dr. Faith, it's been through PayPal, so there's no Stripe option on there yet. We'll see if they can have time maybe this afternoon to do it before Friday, but I'm not sure. All right. Does everyone need a coach? Is it okay to flow with the Holy Spirit? I love Holy Spirit. I walk really closely with Holy Spirit, but there are things I've learned about business that Holy Spirit has put in other people that I could have never learned just through Holy Spirit, because coaching and business and ministry is not just about Holy Spirit. It's about the experience that people have gained over years and years and years of working with people. And God puts knowledge and wisdom in people. So I would advise you, when you get an opportunity to get, so this is the thing about sitting under someone who has been doing something for 10 years. In 10 hours, you will get their 10 years. If you do it on your own, you will take 10 years to learn what you could have learned in 10 hours. I just took a course that was several thousands of dollars in a couple months ago that I learned in those 6 weeks what he learned in MBA school, right? So I could either pay the money and go to MBA school or sit under someone who's already developed it and learn from them. So the Holy Spirit puts wisdom in other people. And when you have an opportunity to pull that wisdom out of them, I will do it. Do you have advice for marketing as a virtual assistant? I don't think I would use Facebook Live. You would need to, because they need you. You need to tell the people that your clients are what you do as a virtual assistant. So even a Facebook Live post could be like what you need to look for in a virtual assistant, because you're trying to get people to hire you. So you need to be able to articulate every virtual assistant needs to do da 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 da. You could do posts on what virtual assistants bring to the table. So have you ever thought of hiring a virtual assistant? That could be your live or a post. This is what you get when you hire them. So you could do lives for anything. People use lives to showcase their jewelry. Haven't you seen them? You see people who showcase their shoes. So any product is liveable, but you don't have to necessarily go live. You could do backstage experience stuff. You could do posts. You could do graphics, but you have to leverage social media. All right. You need a certificate for some people. People want to see certificates. Yeah, some people do. And it means that you have done your job to get credible enough and they can trust you with their money to be able to, do whatever they need to do. All right. So bless you guys. Those that are part of our prayer group, we are praying for the last 3 days of the month, which we pray every last 3 days of the month, but it's a Thanksgiving prayer. So some of you guys are not working. You may want to join in at 6 a.m. London, early registration for the Soul Be Made Whole conference ends December 10th. And so make sure you register. Wealth Transfer Academy, we have a special, for those of you guys that want to register for that class, this Friday, we're going to be releasing a special bonus for you guys. So if you want to wait, gather your money. If you don't know where your money is going to come from, start praying so that you can register for that and be part of that. So someone says, do you have prayer strategy for people who struggle in math? I think any prayer strategy will help you in any area. But I think that's something that you'd also want to make sure that you have a tutor for besides just prayer. All righty. Bless you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. See ya.